Good
Hey,
evening,
hey.
everyone. How's everyone doing this evening?
All right. Hello, hello there. I love. Hello, ladies. I see everybody is coming into the room.
Hey, Erin. Hey, Keisha.
Hello. Saint, we are doing well. How about you, Keisha? Thank you for asking. Um, doing amazing. How are you, Nicole?
Actually, I'm doing really well today.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Well, work today it was really light.
Oh, that's always a good thing.
It's always a good thing, but I kind of scheduled it like that because we talked about boundaries the last time.
Mm-mm.
So there was like no overload today. Just had two people to see and just a couple of notes to complete. And I was able to start a new podcast. So I was excited about that.
Were you really?
I was.
Okay. All right. But that's always good when you can, when you're able to just be able to control your own workload, your own day. We got a couple of hello there, Nadine. Hey, Mrs. Smith. Good evening. I love it. All of my ladies are checking in. Oh, it's toasty, no complaints. So let's see. It's toasty. Where are you dropping in from in the world? Put it in the chat. Let us know where you guys are tuning in from. We are going to get started in just a couple of minutes. So, um, just to kind of set us up though for the evening, because I think again, because Nicole and I love to just, we're in this season right now where we're just kind of letting the spirit move us.
Correct. I
And
think our quote has been like, let's go. Let's go. I don't know
that's
what that
it.
looks
That's
like, where
all.
we're
Because
going, but
guess
we're on
what?
our way.
Yeah, because I don't know about all of you on here, but I am a self proclaimed overthinker. Okay. And I will overthink something to death. And if it is not down to a particular detail of how I like it, look, it's just going to stay in the chat. And this is the season we're coming out the chat.
Yes.
And
We're
we,
live.
yes, right. This is the second time that we've gone live together. Just like, let's do it.
Yeah.
So I love that for us.
Right. And
So
I appreciate you for allowing me this space because I've always been creative. I
you
consider
have,
myself a creator,
you have.
but I've always wanted to be that creator who is behind the scenes. And I know that that's not where God is leading me. So um, I have some newfound courage, support, and I'm just excited to have a platform or use this platform to talk to people about these things that really matter, not just to us, but you know, on a whole. I'm talking to people, we're talking to
Hmm.
people in our circles and our sister circles or whatever it is with our
And
spouses.
outside our circle. I love that.
Exactly. And people are telling us, oh no, Nicole, I would definitely want, to sit in and discuss that and, what's the next topic. So thank you all For those of you who are supporting us, people are showing up again tonight, but we're excited about this journey.
Yes,
So
yes. So speaking of which, and topic, this started out as part of our out of my Women of Exodus series that we started in the very beginning of July. So this is like, I guess, volume 2 or volume 3,
this is
actually. Oh my
volume
God.
3.
Yes, volume 3. Man, this month is
Like me,
flown
you're
by.
having a problem with math.
Listen,
We'll talk about that
that's
another
my husband's ministry, not mine.
and mine
Okay.
too.
Only math I get into is counting of the coin. All right. And so, but this is volume 3 of our Women of Exodus series, where we're exploring all the dimensions of wellness for our life. And tonight we wanted to focus on, not just external beauty, but I think a lot of what we've been talking about is a lot of internal beauty and wellness and finding that sweet spot for all of us. Because again, I know for those of you that were able to join us on our last live, we talked about finding those things that bring us joy, finding those things that help us to kind of recover and reset and just kind of bring us back to ourselves. So tonight we were going to have a conversation about beauty inside and out. And you guys hear me say that all the time because that is just my favorite, just my favorite way to just connect with you all, just being beautiful inside and out. But being beautiful inside and out, decluttering. Decluttering and living in that space. So when we talk about declutter, I know for me, the first thing that I think about, my closet. Right? And what my closet potentially looks like, depending on what's going on in my life or what in and out or event I've had to be to. So what is the first thing that comes to mind for you, for Nicole, when you think about declutter?
Well, I think most people think of like spaces, which is important, but decluttering your mind is also important. And it starts there. But let's use the closet for an example. Your closet may be cluttered because you're in overload, emotional overload, right?
Okay.
And so with that emotional overload, there's fatigue. Like, I'm tired. I just don't have the time or the capacity to clean this closet. But what happens is now your mind is trying to process every object in that closet, right? And so you have your shoes over here and they're just not in place. They're out of space. They're out of their space. You have winter clothes where summer clothes should be. And so your mind is trying to process every object. And so you walk out of the closet, I'm going to get back to it. And that's where stress starts.
It's the get back to it for me, because I don't know. I don't know about all of y'all, everybody that is joining us tonight. And I also want to hear from you guys too. When you think of declutter or hear the phrase decluttering your life, what's the first thing that comes to mind for you? So
we talked about the closet.
Yes, we talked about the closet. I know that's the first thing that comes to mind for me. So I definitely want to hear from everybody else. Like, what's the first thing that comes to mind for them, the people watching when we talk about declutter, but also thinking about, like you said, where we spend the most time, because sometimes I do have to come back for that, because mentally sometimes I don't have the capacity to attack all of that stuff that's in front of me sometimes. Right. So
when I think of declutter, for me personally, being in a therapeutic space, right? My office has to be decluttered because I need an inviting space so that when people come in for me, they feel safe, right?
Yeah.
A clean.
I could definitely see that as a therapist.
A clean space, but not just for therapists. But if you're in a workspace and it's disorganized, there is clutter. How do you process and get your work done? Right.
So I'm looking at, like, Alicia saying in the chat now, hey, Alicia. Decluttering
my
schedule.
That's interesting. Hey Alicia. Now, when it
Hmm.
comes to like your schedule, being organized, right? You might
Right. Are
have,
you one of those people that color code your schedule?
I do color code my schedule.
Okay.
Yes. So my schedule will, if I have to be in the field, it might be blue depending on which agency I'm working with, and
Hmm.
yellow is always my personal,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And so I am very organized in that. But think about caregivers, right? When we talk about
Hmm.
schedules, you have to put their schedule on your schedule,
Mm.
right? And
Hmm.
that sometimes might take precedence over what you have going on.
Mm.
So thank you, Alicia, for that, because
Yeah.
making sure that you have the space and the capacity starts with decluttering.
Definitely. Because I even go back to some of those days, and I'm coming from a corporate environment and kind of being in a space now where, you know, we're moving into a space where we're working for ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even being able to organize the time, because now you're not just on that calendar, like you said, you got what's going on, not just in your business,
Personal
your
life.
personal life, your, like finances, career, professional, other people's schedules that you're
Correct.
connecting and trying to, like, even just meeting up with my, like meeting up with my girlfriend, sometimes
Schedule
I
that.
got to put it on my schedule. So
Right.
when you start to see all of those different color codes and forget where you need to be, because I've been guilty of that sometimes. I forget where I need to be sometimes
Right.
because
But
I forget.
what else is contributing to that?
Mm,
Where else is the clutter showing up? So, we can talk about being professionals and how you own a business,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Let's just say you were, um, I see Kay Logan hair is on.
Mm,
If I went to her studio, she has a beautiful studio, but if I
mm-hmm,
walked in and there was clutter, her space was just in disarray, I would want to know, is something going on with her?
mm,
Right? And
okay,
so, a lot of time when there is clutter, it's because our thoughts are not clear.
okay,
And we need to take the time to kind of take inventory of what's going on around us before we can even tackle kind of clearing out those spaces. Cars, trunks.
no, that's a good point. That's a
Hmm.
good point because when you think about all the things that we are carrying and all the roles and the responsibilities, right? What are some of those things that emotionally are kind of like sitting on our shoulders
Hmm.
in the
In
trunk, in the car
relationships,
with us?
clutter in your relationship.
Cluttering your relationships, because that can be a thing too. I know I can get super distracted sometimes.
Right.
So I don't know if you've had that experience
Oh,
too, with
definitely.
it, where you're just like, I could be in it on trying to complete something, and then I
Hmm.
have to, like, my husband's like, "Hey, come up out of that, like,
Right.
step away, take a break." So,
Yeah, and we're trying to make sense of what is going on, right?
hmm,
And that's in the process phase. Um, it takes it takes work to declutter, right? Let's just use your closet as an example,
mm, okay,
right? Depending on how big it is, how small it is. My sister-in-law, her closet is amazing, right? Walk in, everything is in its place, but she's intentional about that.
I admire people who could do that.
Right.
That has a
She has
place
a
for
whole
everything.
system,
Hmm.
right? But if you don't have a system, you have to start someplace. And that overwhelming, overloaded feeling, that stress could be in just trying to process all the things that you see, not in just your closet, but across the clutter field. Like, what is causing the clutter? We can talk about that.
So because I wanna like tap into to our audience as well too with this, because this is something, like you said, taking up space. Sometimes we don't even know it's there, and processing it. In order to process it, you have to be able to kind of identify it and know what that
Correct.
is
Correct.
that's taking up the space, or just kind of keeping things. So I would love to see if you guys just want to just put it in the comments for us. Like, what are some of those things that are taking up space in your life currently that you might not even be aware of? Like, if you were just to sit and think right
Right.
now, like, what is that?
Right.
Is it, you know, emotional baggage, fear, grief,
Mm-hmm.
people pleasing, because that
Correct.
can take up space and energy, right?
Yes.
You know, old things that just don't even fit our lifestyle or our personalities or even who we are right now.
Right. What are we holding on to and why?
That
Right.
part.
And so we can talk about hoarders. That's a different topic for another day, for another platform. We won't get into that.
Right, because I do want to ask you though, because
Oh,
no, really, Nicole, I have to know, because sometimes I think if I think about declutter and hoarding, what would be the difference between that?
Well, hoarding is an attachment, and that's clinical, right?
Okay.
To not being able to detach from certain things. And so when you see those shows, people have had, and there could be a little hoarding in some of this decluttering, but not to the clinical sense. Now, for you, if your closet is cluttered and like me, I'm trying to hold on to this jacket that I have from 1980 because, it has all the pins on it. That's different than, because I feel like that's a part of my style. But I'm keeping this jacket that I can no longer fit. It has rips and not like rips and tears, but you know what I'm saying. Maybe the moths ate it, but it's something that I can't let go of. And the question is, why can't you? So that's when we start talking about like hoarding. There is a difference, but when we're talking about decluttering, it's a task. You, like you said, you have to acknowledge that this is a problem, right? Or that this is impeding. If I can't get in my closet to get to my sweater, or if I can't get in my car because, when I drink my tea, I just throw the bottle down, or my bag from work is just overflowing that I brought out of my office that is in disarray. Like, clutter is everywhere. And I know that part of what we were talking about is, beauty, right? And how beauty starts within. I know for me, definitely. I use beauty, beauty products,
right? For
right?
sure, for sure.
And I'm a hoarder of makeup, guys. Even though
guilty,
I don't wear it, I just want to see it in my bathroom.
Not see it.
Yes, it needs to be there. But we talked about this, purchasing beauty products because of how I thought it would make me feel, right? And look, but
because that's the thing.
Spending so much money on Christian, you guys know who, and those high priced products, and then getting home and like looking like a straight clown.
Well, I think,
and cluttering my bathroom countertop.
So we got a comment.
Oh, decluttering my kitchen cabinets. Listen, Kay Logan, I cannot purchase another Yeti, Stanley, or Starbucks cup. So I get it. Holding on to those things that, we no longer need. I've had this cup for so long, or I had these dishes and they started off with 8 and now only have 3. Now it's time to readjust and not add more, but take out some things that you don't need anymore.
And don't feel bad, because guess what? Like, even in like, I'm not a huge kitchen person, but hear me when I say I love a coffee mug. I am so addicted to coffee mugs. Yes. Like, I love colors. I love my name on them. I love I just, look, I don't care. Look, I like sayings, comic books, all the things. So I have to be careful, like, because I will collect a good coffee mug, and probably more than I can drink out of. So correct. Absolutely.
And then
bras, I need to throw them all out. I think that's hilarious and powerful. Nicole, you know what, Nicole, I am gonna get you. That is so funny. Let's see. Cloak and hair. Are we supposed to
let's go back to the bras. I want to talk about that for a second. I am
shook because I just did this not too long ago.
It's too small. if the bra is tearing at the seam, some of the hooks are missing. I know that's your favorite, but let it go. And I know bras are expensive.
I
Good bras
know,
are.
really, because I
But
had to get rid of something I hadn't even worn, but
it doesn't fit,
no,
or
it didn't. So I had to get rid
yes,
of
you
them. So
can't, like,
I'm
we're
not gonna play
holding
myself.
on to things that we no longer need. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't need it, if Kay Logan, I know you asked about, like, if the set is broken, um you can mix and match,
Break it up, break it up, break it up. No, I'm
but
playing. Okay.
take inventory of what the need is. Why are you holding on to these things, right? I'm a sneakerhead. I'm not getting rid of any of my sneakers now. I'm just gonna have to make room. But I wear my sneakers. That's, as long as they are neat, put in boxes and things like that.
Oh yeah, I think we have that addiction in
Right.
common. So
A
it's
lot
kind of
of us
like,
on here do.
uh-huh.
But it's important to how to declutter your mind.
That's a great question. So
Decluttering your mind. I think we talked about that a little
yeah,
bit the
so
last time.
Keisha, so how do you declutter your mind? So what are some of the things that you recommend that we can do to help with that? So I know one of the
Right.
things that you and I were discussing on yesterday was getting back into the meditation space, because I had definitely
Definitely.
gotten away from that with everything moving and trying to just, figure out the balance of the newness here, right?
Yep.
So,
Meditation is key. Meditation could be time set aside to pray, time set aside to be still. We talked about that in our last live. And then just learning how your mind works. We're on go most days. And so, depending on what you have going on in your life, you hold a capacity for so many things. If you're getting up in the morning, getting your child ready for school, you're getting ready for work, you're moving, you have to get into a car. All of these thoughts that you have, we have so hundreds of thousands of thoughts almost every day, right? 12,000, 44,000 thoughts that you're not even thinking about. Your subconscious is also playing with these thoughts in the background. And so when you start to realize that you have the control to slow things down, it's just a matter of learning what those coping skills are for you. So, like we discussed just yesterday, starting with meditation, and a great meditation app to start with, guys, is called Insight Timer.
oh yeah, I
And
use that one. It's pretty good.
it's great because they have over like 140,000 free meditations. They teach you how to meditate. But like I was explaining to Kidada, I don't ever want a person to start to learn to meditate and say, well, I'm going to do this for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not at the 20-minute mark yet.
Correct.
Like, you go get a good 4 minutes out of me
Start
in the
with
morning
about
to start.
4 minutes, because what's going to happen is you're going to notice even in those 4 minutes that your mind is going to drift. It's going to wander. But the key to learning how to meditate appropriately, the proper way, is staying consistent, right? Start at 4 minutes max and stay there until you can work through a 4-minute meditation. It's normal. It is normal for your mind to wander, but it's also normal to learn. The key is to learn to take control of your thoughts.
And then Keisha Natalie, she's also saying too, Keisha's talking about like being able to, I would even think maybe even decompress too, because especially if there's a lot happening in the space. So it also depends like the size of the space, or even sometimes too, like if there's just a lot going on in that immediate space, being able to kind of separate yourself from that and find a moment.
Correct.
Right.
So I think I said this last week, and I mean, it speaks to what I have to do in my space, in my workspace. People bring their energy into my workspace. So what I had to learn early is, how do I make this space conducive to me being safe in here, And when people leave, I can just turn around and see something very positive, whether it be an affirmation, whether it be a prayer, a picture of my son, my family, those types of things. I know someone just said something about as an overthinker, to decompress, you have to learn, because overthinking can lead to stress, anxiety, those types of things. That's why I always preach that we need maintenance therapy, right? What are we overthinking? Are those thoughts cycling constantly? Do we give ourselves a reprieve? Is it like a work situation? Like, what is it? And so to start to declutter anywhere, a room, your mind, a relationship, what's the issue, and what do I need to do to sit for a minute with it to figure out how to move. And I would be definitely willing to talk to people individually, outside of this space, to get people at least started,
something
and
too.
resources.
And then I love that other people are sharing as well too. So I see PYT Puerto Rico. Is that it? I hope I pronounced it correctly. She loves to listen to music to declutter her mind.
Right.
And I love that as well too. And I find myself now, I don't listen to as much music as I used to. Like, I could get in the car and I could listen to some of my favorite playlists. But my favorite thing to do now is I do a lot of like high frequency listening. Like, I love like white noise, green noise, brown noise are some of my favorites. Like, I can't even go to sleep now without them. You
right.
know,
and most people can't.
Yeah.
Music is very therapeutic. You know, I talk to people all the time about how do you decompress, and sometimes people don't know how, just because life is moving. But I always say, go back to something that you loved doing, right? That starts to become your coping skill, to declutter your mind. Because I know we're talking about spaces, but that's the most important space, right? Is our mind. And so that's why we were talking about spaces today. Once you get your spaces decluttered, like for me, my closet was off the chain. I can be transparent about that.
Well, you know,
but
we're all a little
because
guilty.
I have too much stuff, right? And so I had to let go of some things. And now that has become my prayer place, right? Because I have made it into a space where it's cleansed, right? It's clear. And I feel accomplished. So you'll notice that once you start to declutter, you can start to move in another direction.
It starts to feel a lot more clear.
Correct.
I think too, I know for myself, one of the I know a lot of people have heard me say too before, how beauty is therapy for me. And you brought up something too about, just loving the things and how the beauty, your beauty purchases made you feel.
Right.
And I think for those of us who love beauty, how much lighter sometimes it can make you feel. Like, even cleaning out my makeup bag. I know for me, I probably have a makeup bag in every space that I occupy because that's just who I am and who I've grown to be. Like, I have one in the car, it's one in my, computer bag, it's, in my travel bags. I have to, but the point is I have to clean them out from time to time because there's staples and things that I have to have. And then there's things that I kind of like interchangeable depending on what's going on, if I'm going to an event or if I'm trying new products.
So guys, my makeup bag doesn't change. It's the same products. So we're talking about a professional and someone who has about 10 products. But I understand exactly what you're saying.
But I think it still affects because it even how I use beauty, because for those of us, I think too, because I would be interested to know from you guys too, like, maintaining when it comes to the beauty side of your wellness and who you are both internally and externally? What do you feel like you spend more time doing? Do you spend more time maintaining how you look on the outside, or do you spend more time putting and pouring into who you are internally?
Right.
Because that has changed for me in the last years. Like I would spend hours making sure hair, brows, makeup, all the things done. Now you saw us getting ready together. Like my routine has gone from 30 minutes to 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely schedule and am more intentional about spending more time on me inside than I am outside now.
And I think for me, the issue was, well, I want these products, these beauty products, because the industry says you need them. They're going to make you look good. And when you look good, you feel good. But I wasn't educated on the product. So it just didn't fit my skin type. It's just like, hey, yeah, get this when you go in. Oh, I want the, this foundation because, it's luxury but it just, and then you get home and you kind of feel kind of like, dang, that they sold me a dream, right? And so now, and honestly, like I was saying, the makeup bag that I have today is way scaled down. But I was that person, and you could get me in MAC, you could get me in Sephora, and I would buy it up because I thought it would make me look good.
Oh my God.
And now today I'm using like 3 to 4 products at most.
And I have so many women that I have worked with and so many clients that have done just like you said, as far as like just purchasing those things to make them feel a certain way. I would have clients that would come spend, when I say hundreds and hundreds of dollars with me in terms of, cosmetic purchases, and some would even just come and just return it.
Right.
Because after they have found out bringing all of those products home,
none of
it helped with what was going on internally.
Right.
So, and after discovering that, they would return it. And again, I think hindsight, the businesswoman in me would probably cringed at the time, but the woman I am now, and understanding all of that and all of the things that we contend with as women, I get it.
Well,
I get it.
Makeup enhances us, right?
It does. It does, but it doesn't change us.
It does not change us, and that's why we have to start with the declutter here.
It's a mindset.
And then we can go to the space.
It's a mindset,
right?
Definitely.
So just take an inventory into where the clutter is. That's number one. What spaces do I find myself just in clutter? We talked about specific spaces. For some of us, it's our bathrooms, kitchens, and
Powerful Nicole says she has 5 lip glosses on her at all times. That's hilarious. And Keisha says mine doesn't either, Nicole. So only you only get one skin. So thinking about, let's see, PYT, Puerto Rico, I spend more time pouring internally outside of my daily skin routine, pouring internally outside of my daily skin routine. I love that for you, because here's the thing too, when we talk about beauty, and we'll have so many more episodes to come that will address this, but the skin part of beauty, if you can nail that, the other part is easy, but because the color part is fun, but being able to kind of just is something to be able to maintain. You only get one skin, you know. And when
my skin is clear,
take care of it.
And when my skin is clear, I don't even want to put makeup on. Like, I don't need it. I can put on some mascara and my clear lip gloss, and people notice. But part of that is feeling that confidence, right?
Yes. And to my girl PYT, yes, it does take some work, because again, it's about your mindset. You have to almost reprogram yourself and kind of
And
stripping yourself for some of
PYT
those.
is Takora. She said that's her nickname.
Oh, okay. Because I don't like to blow up anybody's anonymity on here. Look, who you say you are on here is who you are, okay? And I want to honor and respect that. So, Takora, thank you so much. You do not look. You don't have to reveal any names for me, but thank you for sharing. So, yeah, no, that's totally fine. But like you said, Takora, that it is a process, and you do have to reprogram yourself on almost, what's the word I'm looking for? Almost kind of like unlearning some of the things that we've spent so much time learning growing up, things from our parents, things from our environment.
Correct. That's just society in general, like what the definition of beauty is,
the standards of it,
correct,
and what's been imposed on us versus how we feel. And that was probably one of the biggest reasons that I even got into beauty. I mean, aside from growing up in it, being
Can
the
you
daughter
tell the
of
people like what you did in beauty? Because I don't think a lot of them don't know your background. They know that I'm a therapist, but some people on here don't know.
Yes. So for those of you who don't know, I mean, I have spent, when I say my entire life in beauty, my entire life, I am the daughter of a salon owner, and my mom did hair and owned and operated her own salon for as long as I can remember. And all I remember is just sitting on the stairs watching my mom do hair all day long, and all the women coming in and out the salon all day long. And I knew I wanted to be in that environment because I used to love watching my mother get dressed.
Just the community.
Smell good. Yes. And just so many. I mean, when I say that shop was booming and my mother was just cranking them out, and those women were there faithfully weekly. But to your point, that of course led me into the beauty industry, where I spent over the last 30 years. So I am a professional makeup artist by trade, a licensed esthetician, and and my background is in training and development. So I spent many, many years training and developing makeup artistry skills, and working and doing brand education for some of
the biggest names,
some of the biggest brands and biggest names in
the industry,
makeup industry. So that is definitely my background, and my love and affinity for beauty comes from that.
And someone in here, Empower.
So, oh yes,
she said that you are the GOAT. And you are, and is.
And I look, and I totally it humbles me every time I hear, one of my mentees or one of my former, colleagues, staff, like that, because to me, it was never a job for me. Mm-hmm. It was something that I innately absolutely loved. And if it was something or anything that I could do to show them, share with them anything I knew, I didn't mind doing it, and I loved doing it, and it was just my passion, and it still is.
Right.
And I think now I'm just looking and approaching beauty from a different lens now.
From a wellness lens.
Yes, because like I said before, a lot of what I did was working with the vain side of women on externally.
Correct.
But then the more I began to pay attention, it had nothing to do with the latest lipstick purchase or getting a new bottle of foundation. It was more about what was going on internally for all of us.
Correct.
And so when that clicked for me, and all the things that I had to face outside of the beauty industry, inside the beauty industry, and coming into an industry that didn't necessarily always make space
for us. Correct.
Right.
That's why my foundation would be 10 times darker.
Right. So it just became part of my mission to make sure that there was more of what we had to offer was being honored in that space. And that still is my mission until this day. So now I just like to do it both externally and internally. Mm-hmm. So definitely.
Well, when you have a clear space, whether it be an internal clear space or a tangible space, you find peace, right? And so it is so important, like Kidada just said,
Yeah.
beauty starts inside. And so when we talk about inside, I'm always thinking about the heart and the mind, right? And this is where we start to build self-confidence. I am telling you, if you clear your space, it's just you gain clarity, knowledge, and wisdom because you've opened up that environment to pull in more. And when the space is cleared, you really start to think about what should I replace, right? So if I'm having those negative thoughts about, let's just be transparent. I have lost a significant amount of weight. And I just knew that when that happened, I would feel so good about myself. Now, let me just say, at the weight that I was still amazing.
Period.
But I just felt like when I lose this weight, it's going to things are just going to change for me. I didn't know what that change was, but I sat across from Kidada and I told her, I was very transparent with, I don't feel good. And it wasn't just about losing weight. I had to change some things about how I was feeling about myself. I've always thought that I've been self-confident, and that I carry myself in a certain way, but again, had nothing to do with my outer appearance and everything to do with what I was feeling about myself. So no matter what weight you are, no matter what you're carrying, when you start to really delve down into what is this that I need to clear out? What are these thoughts about how I felt about myself? How do I get to a place where I feel good at any weight?
Right.
And so that's just a moment of transparency, but it is so important to take inventory of what is cluttering our mind and our spaces right now.
And I think you mentioned, I think you said something that is super important. Can someone look beautiful on the outside and
Definitely.
still feel completely overwhelmed on the inside, or
Empty.
Still feel full but not in a good way?
Correct.
Right? So that has that requires a different part of us, a different part of our thinking and how we see things, how we approach things, because I'm with you there. Like, I've always been a full figure woman. I can't make any bones about that. That's just who I am and what it is.
And it's
do
beautiful.
I work at it? Yeah, absolutely. And I found that, like you said, doing the physical side and getting to that space where you're getting away from external beauty in a way that you're approaching it more from a wellness perspective, versus I gotta work out or I gotta look a certain way. No, I have to feel a certain way. I have to start to think a certain way
exactly
before I could even see what's going on in the mirror. Because some days, it's like looking in the mirror and you're just like, yep, you got it, I'm feeling it. And then other days you're just like, yep, nope, today's not that day. Right. I'm not feeling it.
Right.
How I look or what's going on. And, ooh, this outfit ain't as cute on me as I thought it was today, so.
Yeah. It just takes some, it just takes some time to acknowledge how you're feeling first, what those thoughts are, and then you start doing the work. Find someone that you trust, someone who is gonna punch you in the face almost, but hold you accountable to looking inwards. It's okay. It's scary sometimes, but it is okay to look inside. It is necessary in order to start thriving. And I would say I feel much better about my journey. There are some certain things that I want to do now with my weight journey, and talk to people about it's not easy. Whether it does not matter, especially for us women. You know, how do we see ourselves? How are we viewing ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we hold that negative space for no reason.
Yes. So, and I know we got a couple of comments in there. Brown Beauty Cuties. Hey, Jenny girl.
Kia, we are not doing closet rehaul with some assistants. You need to check in with Erin.
Look. And that could be a different episode. So because we got some experts in the chat and in this room that could definitely help with
the
that.
way she said it, this is not a 12-step program,
but it could be, right? We're here to help. We're here to help. We're here to encourage whatever the girlies need to
she
get
said,
through.
this is a safe space. Yes, it
absolutely is. It is a safe space, but. But one of the I know we gotta wrap up soon. Yeah. Yes. So one of the things that I want us to be able to walk away with, I love a good takeaway before we leave the space. Yes.
I'm giving homework.
What's one thing that a woman that's watching or that might watch this a little bit later, what is one thing that you feel like that we could do this week, this moment to immediately create more space or peace and declutter our lives?
The first thing is, and everybody has a visual right now of their spaces.
Because I'm thinking of a couple things.
Exactly. The one thing that you need to do this week and build upon it is go into your mental right now. Think of that place, that space that needs to be decluttered, right? I'm not saying tackle all of it. Kia, the cupboards, the cups. Think about that. How can you start to declutter that space? What do you need to start? Are you going to give some of those cups away? Like, it becomes a project now, and I don't want it to be overwhelming, but the first step is identifying what needs to be decluttered.
Yes. I think that was probably the biggest takeaway for me today is just being able to name what that thing is that has to go to make space for whatever it is I need right now. Yes. Correct. So like when I think about that immediately, we talked about so many things. You said like for you, I know you said it was like a closet. For me, I know I have to be intentional about making sure my calendar looks a certain way. Like I love that was comment Alicia. Was made. Yeah, that Alicia made that comment in the chat because time blocking. Sometimes I just don't have it, or I don't have the bandwidth, or you needing to time to process certain things. What your day is going to look like, what your week is going to look like,
right? Your life, how you organize your life.
Nicole said the easiest thing that she's going to do is start with her purse.
Listen,
I agree with that. It's to the point now where my purse is the size of a 5x7 intentionally because I am tired of carrying stuff I don't need.
That her name is Nicole?
Yes.
As well. I want to talk to Nicole offline about these bras and this underwear.
So her purse in the glove compartment. So correct. I absolutely love that. So if anybody else wants to share, please drop that in the comments. What is one thing that you're intentionally going to do to make space for yourself this week? What area of your life needs to be decluttered? Is it the closet? Is it a relationship? Is it your phone? Is it your group chat? Correct. Is it your text messages? Is it your shoe closet? Your cosmetic bag? What?
Right, your linen
what is
closet.
It out here, ladies?
Like,
talk to us.
What is it?
So and before we leave, I want you to finish this sentence for me.
Okay. Let me see.
So today, because Nicole loves a good affirmation and she's always on me about making sure that I affirm myself regularly.
Yes.
So today I'm making room for
more abundance.
More abundance.
Yes.
Okay, more abundance. So today, Nicole's making room for more abundance.
I could go on and on. For more peace, for more flexibility. for more love, for more giving,
Yeah, I
just for
like
more
that.
receiving,
For more joy. I
for
feel
more
like that's
joy.
something that I'm making more room for. I
I
remember
always want peace.
sharing with my girlfriend Keisha. I don't celebrate myself enough. I just don't.
Mm,
I just
mm,
don't.
mm.
Like, I just completed a whole master's program coming off an operating table. Like, I have to keep saying that to myself sometimes because I can't even believe I just did that,
Right,
but I did, and I still have yet to like fully celebrate that for myself.
right.
And you know what? I am literally being more intentional about making room to celebrate myself
And
more.
I would like to,
And Jennifer, Brown Beauty Cuties, Jennifer says stillness. She's making room for more stillness. I love that because I know how busy this woman is. So yes, I agree with that.
more
Still,
money,
yeah.
more me time.
More money and more me time. Yes, Alicia. I love that too. Okay. All the things in T Rose 1908. Hey, Sabrina. Decluttering changes the energy. It
Yes, it
does.
does.
It does.
Carla says me time. I'm sorry, the Libra Diva. Yes,
Me time. I love that. So I love that everybody's being intentional about making it for time for themselves.
yes.
Because we talked about how much we don't do that, ladies, and we gotta get better at it because, yeah, all the things, all the testimonies. So I want to invite everybody, continue to let us know in the comments what is that one thing that you're going to make time for yourself to do? What area of your life are you going to intentionally declutter
Yes.
this week? And it doesn't, again, we talked about it does not have to be life changing.
Correct.
It doesn't have to be a complete
It
overhaul, but
starts
one
with your
little
thoughts.
thing. Yeah.
Starts with your thoughts.
Yes. Start with your mind, start with your routine, something little that you can do and that's going to give you an instant impact immediately.
And when you do that, you're going to start to see a shift because you were intentional about just doing that. So that's important. Just the thought and to sit down and to acknowledge starts the shift because everything starts with a thought.
Absolutely. And that is a perfect segue for us to end this live today. So I want to thank everybody for joining us and really contributing to the topic of
Yes.
on today. So again, decluttering isn't just about getting rid of those things that no longer serves us. It's about creating space for you, for all the things that God has for you, and all the growth that we still have yet to do. Um, and being able to just pour back into ourselves because beauty isn't just what we see externally. It definitely
Starts internally.
Can't say it
Definitely.
enough. So this week, I want you to just really ask yourself, what do I need to release in order to be the best me? What can I get rid of that is going to give me instant impact and gratification in my life? So Nicole and I, thank you so much again for being here.
This was amazing.
Of course.
Thank you for everybody who participated. Just showing up says that, there is space for you to kind of pivot and maneuver in whatever area of your life that you may have some struggles. And we just thank you and keep showing up and we'll have these nuggets and, we feed off of your energy, even though, it's all social right now. But
yes. And tell us, and then also too, please tell us where can we find you because you offered up some services over there as well too. So
you
where
can
we
find me
you,
at
Nicole?
_regulated reset.
Not that she forgot where she can find herself.
Because it's too much going on. It's passwords. It's every. Look, I need to declutter. But no, on Instagram I am at _regulated_reset.
Yes, and for our lives, you can always find us here. In the meantime, you can also find me. And if you guys have questions, topics that you want to see, things that you want to discuss, beauty questions, you can also find me at Women. Look, this one. You can find me at Women of Exodus, and that's Women of EXODUS, like in the Bible. So you can find me there. And as always, we love talking to you ladies and continue to be beautiful inside and out.
Have a good night.
All right.
Thank
Bye,
you.
ladies. Thank you all.